They get ready to see Michael second time. That was my second time. This is her first time. Y'all did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it.
It was off the chain, right?
It was great.
It was like, come look
It
close.
was crazy.
How'd you like the Michael movie?
I loved it.
Wasn't it good?
I loved it from start to finish.
Me too.
I'm not gonna say that because she hasn't seen it yet, but
yeah, you gotta. I want to go see it again with a bigger audience, so I can be dancing in there and I can talk the way I want to talk in there. All right, it's nice to meet y'all, man.
There you go. I love you. I want to see you.
In the late 1990s, Michael Jackson's world felt tighter every day. Hunted by tabloids, left behind by friends, and struggling to find real trust anywhere. Then, a rising star, Chris Tucker, made a sudden U-turn across thousands of miles just to see him, building an unexpected bond that brought Jackson something fame had taken away: laughter without fear. How did this rare connection become a lifeline while others disappeared?
Short film. We ate all this food. We ran out with our pants. It's so fun.
Hey, you forgot the pay. You forgot to cook the food. Forgot to pay today. Food wasn't no good. Keep it to yourself. Pay today. You look away and food in you. Drop the pay. Drop the pay.
By 1995, Michael Jackson was standing in the middle of a non-stop storm. The release of his album History that June brought massive attention, some celebrating him, many pushing relentless rumors. Tabloids flooded newsstands with speculation about his life, his looks, and his relationships. Every step he took turned into material for gossip shows and late-night jokes. The pressure never eased. Inside his world, trust became extremely rare. Friends and old confidants slowly pulled back, either scared of the spotlight or overwhelmed by his level of fame. His circle shrank until advisors, lawyers, and security replaced real companionship. Even at home, privacy did not hold. Paparazzi waited outside Neverland Ranch, hoping for any sign of drama or a story. Phone calls and visits often came with hidden motives. Many wanted something from him, whether access, favors, or a story to sell. For Jackson, laughter was not just rare, it became something he depended on. The few people who could actually make him laugh, treating him like just another person, turned into rare treasures inside his world. But as the years wore on, those moments grew scarce fast. The gap between public spectacle and private reality widened into something heavier. Behind the music videos and world tours, he was increasingly isolated, searching for someone who could offer simple, judgment-free friendship.
Gary, Indiana, baby, on MJ's birthday. Happy birthday, MJ! Here we go!
As one music biographer put it, at the height of his fame, Michael was the most famous and the loneliest man in the world. He needed someone who could remind him what it felt like to be normal on a real level. The friendship between Chris Tucker and Michael Jackson never seemed like something that should work. Chris was loud, wild, and full of energy. Michael was quiet, soft-spoken, and moved carefully through every room like he did not want attention on him. The difference between them was impossible to miss.
Netherland, and I would say I like something, he would give it to me. I said, Michael, I like that big screen TV. He was like, you like it, Chris? I said, yeah, I like it. He said, do you love it? I said, I love it. Next day I go home, Michael would send the TV to my house. I said, Michael, thank you.
Wow.
But I was like, Michael is nice and rich.
Chris came in talking fast and making everybody laugh. Michael spent years staying away from crowds and hiding from the pressure around him. But when they were together, something just clicked. Somehow they made each other seem comfortable and real. In old interviews and backstage footage, you can catch moments where Michael laughs so hard around Chris Tucker that he bends over and covers his face with his hands. Not the controlled smile people saw on red carpets. This was real laughter, the kind that slips out before a person can even hold it back.
We watching the movie, he's the loudest person in there.
Really?
You know? Yeah, he's watching the movie like, hee. I said, Michael, would you shut up before people see you?
Sorry, it was funny, Chris.
Yeah.
People close to Michael Jackson often said Chris Tucker gave him something almost nobody else could: relief. Not from fame or pressure, but from the loneliness that followed Michael everywhere. That connection between them always stood out because it felt genuine and rare. That is why a lot of people quietly started paying attention when Chris Tucker began showing up around Michael, the biopic starring Jafar Jackson. Most people just saw another celebrity supporting the project, but behind the scenes, the energy felt much deeper than that. During production, reports said Chris visited the set more than once. The crew stayed focused on cameras, lighting, dance moves, and tight schedules. But Tucker would sometimes stand quietly behind the monitors, just watching Jafar perform, almost like he was looking back at a world that disappeared years ago.
Ow! Ah! You gotta go see the Michael movie, man. I done saw it twice. I'm going back to see it again. It's the best movie I ever saw after Rush Hour. I mean, it's a great movie. Go see the Michael movie, my boy MJ, Michael Jackson movie, Off the Chain. Great movie.
Then little moments started catching people off guard. Jafar would suddenly laugh between takes, tilt his head a certain way, or move his hands while talking. For a quick second, people around the set said the resemblance stopped feeling physical. It started feeling emotional and personal in a way that hit hard. That was the unusual part about Jafar Jackson's performance. A lot of actors can copy Michael Jackson's voice, dancing, or famous moves, but people connected to the production kept talking about the smaller details instead. The quiet reactions, the shy smile after somebody cracked a joke, the way Jafar sometimes lowered his eyes while listening to people speak. Those little moments caught everybody's attention. People around the film described them as echoes, not because it looked exactly like Michael returned, but because certain pieces of his personality suddenly felt present again.
When did you feel like you embodied Michael?
I was thrown into it on day one, doing the Bad performance, and then we went into doing some victory tour performances. So I was automatically thrown into that aura and presence of being on stage with the real extras and all the wardrobe and the lights. And I felt it when I was on that stage, hearing the music and feeling it in my bones and performing.
That emotional feeling hit the Jackson family hard during filming. For Jafar, the pressure was massive. He was not only stepping into the role of one of the biggest entertainers in history, he was also carrying family history and personal memories at the same time. Every movement invited comparisons. Every scene came with huge expectations from fans and people close to Michael. And standing behind the cameras during some of those moments was Chris Tucker, one of Michael Jackson's closest friends. Chris was not just another celebrity showing support for the movie. He stayed loyal to Michael during difficult years when many people quietly distanced themselves. He defended him publicly, testified for him, and continued speaking warmly about him long after 2009, when the media had already moved on to other stories. That kind of loyalty leaves a lasting mark on people, especially when the friendship meant as much as the one between Chris Tucker and Michael Jackson. Years after Michael's death, Chris still talked about him in interviews almost like he was still here. Sometimes it sounded like part of him expected another late-night phone call or another backstage joke at any moment. Grief can affect people that way. Certain memories stay frozen in time, no matter how many years pass.
You just get happy, man. He would give you anything if you liked something. Like I was just complimenting a flat screen TV he had, and he gave it to me. I was like, Michael, I didn't want the TV. But then the black came out of me. I started liking everything after that. I said, Michael. I said, Michael, I like that Rolls Royce. That's a bad Rolls Royce. Not the old one, the new Rolls Royce, right there. He was like, you like it, Chris? I said, yeah, I like it. He said, you sure you like it? I said, yeah, I like it. He said, well, you better go buy one, because I ain't giving you my Rolls.
That is probably why the set of Michael reportedly became emotional for so many people connected to the film. Memories do not just disappear. They stay hidden until something suddenly brings them back to the surface. For Jafar Jackson, that pressure had to feel enormous. Imagine stepping into the role of your late uncle while carrying one of the most famous family names in entertainment history. Then picture this moment clearly. You finish a tough scene and look up, and there he is, your uncle's closest friend, standing behind the cameras with a quiet smile, not judging, not comparing, just present, like he belongs there. That kind of support hits different, in a way that is hard to explain. It speaks louder than anything said out loud. It almost feels unreal at times, like a scene that carries extra weight in the air. That is also why Chris Tucker reportedly watched the film more than once, not because he needed to study it, but because something about it pulled him back in. Memory is a strange thing in that world. It gets heavy, it gets soft. Sometimes it even hits both ways at the same time, and people do not always know how to hold it. For a few moments, the silence that follows loss does not feel as empty as it used to, like something familiar is still echoing in the background. At a private screening of the film, the room felt unusually still, like everyone was holding their breath without saying it. Chris Tucker reportedly sat back in his seat, watching Jafar Jackson move through scenes that carried so many echoes of Michael, and at one point, he leaned forward like something on screen had caught him off guard. People nearby said he did not speak much, he just stayed focused, taking it all in with a quiet intensity that stood out in a room full of industry voices. It wasn't loud emotion, it was something restrained but heavy, like old memories pressing forward again. After the screening, there was no big reaction from him, just a calm presence that lingered a little longer than expected. Moments like that made people around the production talk in lower voices, as if the film had reopened something personal that never fully closed. Memory has a way of doing that. It doesn't fade cleanly. It shifts and returns when something familiar appears again.
He was introduced to me by maybe one of his little nephews or something.
Okay.
Said, "Watch this. He talking about you, Uncle." And Michael probably said, "Oh, he's funny. He's funny. Oh, he's good." So he knew of me, I think, that way. I think one of his nephews told me that he showed Michael Fridays.
Right.
And in every movie, you might see me do a Michael Jackson movie or something. I think it's just Kendrick's spirit or something.
Fans online reacted fast after clips from the movie started spreading across social media. Many people said Jafar Jackson's performance did not feel like a simple imitation. It felt like something deeper unfolding in front of them, almost shocking, with some viewers replaying certain scenes over and over to catch details they missed the first time. Others were posting long threads breaking down his expressions, the way he moved, and how certain moments felt eerily familiar in a way that sparked huge discussion across platforms. At the same time, reactions were mixed in a very loud way, with some fans calling it one of the most emotional portrayals of Michael Jackson they had ever seen, while others debated how much of it came from skill versus pure resemblance. And the conversation kept growing as more footage appeared. What stood out most was how strongly people connected emotionally, even when they disagreed, because the performance kept pulling strong reactions out of everyone watching, turning simple clips into major talking points across the fan community. As the conversation around the film continued to grow, the final impression for many viewers was not just about casting or accuracy, but about the feeling it left behind. Jafar Jackson's performance kept circulating online, with fans returning to key moments that carried strong emotional weight, trying to understand why it felt so personal and layered at the same time. Some described it as a performance that did not just recreate history, but reminded people of it in a very human way. Behind all the discussion, the story of connection between the people around Michael Jackson, especially Chris Tucker, added another layer that viewers kept pointing to. It became less about spectacle and more about memory, loyalty, and how certain bonds continued to echo even years later. In the end, the film left many people touched, and that is part of why it kept spreading across platforms. If you watched the movie or saw clips online, share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know what you think. How would you rate Jafar's ability to bring Michael's spirit back to life and honor his memory? Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share for more stories like this.